It's time for us to have a discussion on tech. Now, for those that know me, they know I love talking about stuff like this. In fact, I get into mini arguments with people in my environment on issues like this, where the future is going. And we have with us Bukunmi Ajiboye. He's a product and process manager. And we're going to be looking at how traditional real estate is gearing up and changing, or let's say transforming via technology. It's great to have you in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Bukunmi. So now people see real estate as something physical. It's right there in front of you,
Yep.
and it belongs to you, or it doesn't.
Yep.
So let's talk about how it started and where it's going.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Initially, real estate has always been like a slow-moving industry. Started with regular transactions, having to do with exchanging of monies for land,
Yes.
and stuff like that. For now, because of the expansion and growth in the industry, it's going to be a lot harder to track conventional real estate, and hence why technology is moving in to ensure that these processes are streamlined for easier transparency and exchange of transactions, clearer transactions.
Okay, so but what could be simpler? You have land, I have money, I give you, you give me.
Yes.
What could be simpler than that?
Yes, I mean, during the exchange of land and money, you find that there are a lot of third parties or middlemen in between those processes. You would have, like you said, individuals like caretakers, loyal caretakers. You would have moneyless. You would have several other parties that may want to be part of that process.
Okay.
But what we're trying to do is to ensure that, what technology is trying to do is to ensure that that process is shrunk to a time frame that it's more palatable for the buyer and obviously for the economy as well. Because when we have shorter processes, you have more transactions done. Yeah.
So for a traditional, let's say, developer, real estate developer, and a client, the process of taking ownership of a flat, how long does it usually take?
I mean,
a week?
I mean,
2 weeks?
it takes a lot longer than that. You'd find that transactions have to do with a lot of what's it called, government approvals, and you find that it also has to do with a lot of documentation, and usually those documentation take a lot of time, right? So I think what will be smarter now is to try and bring in a lot of smarter contracting, maybe something on the blockchain that is able to verify users faster, and then be able to exchange that information for monies quicker, like you said earlier.
So I love the term you used. You used the term smart contract. Now, I heard this term quite a while ago myself, but for those that don't understand what a smart contract is, can you sort of break it down?
So a smart contract is basically a tool or an experience within the technology space that allows users to be able to verify, users, for instance, verify the ownership of this land to ensure that there are no third parties or previous owners that might create some level of disputes within that process. And then allows us to verify the true value of that land in exchange for whoever is buying that land as well. So it invariably allows quicker transactions, like I said before, and also invariably allows things like traceable and historical knowledge of exchange within those lands and values of those lands as well.
So if I was to compare and contrast it, I'll probably compare it to when someone wants to verify the ownership of a car.
Exactly.
They check, is it the VIN number? What is it they check? I know there's a number they check to find out how many people have owned the car before.
Exactly.
Now, so a smart contract would help you be able to verify who truly owns this land.
Yeah, exactly.
And whether the person selling it has the right.
Has the right to sell it. It's pretty much just converting old repositories and data centers or data banks of land into usable knowledge and obviously open source information that anybody can go into, check who owns this land, and be able to look at what titles that are attributed to this land to ensure that you're not getting scammed, or you're not buying something that is not of true value, of known value as well. Yes.
All right, so there are companies now that actually give you this service, or is this something you're hoping becomes the norm throughout the real estate industry?
I mean, yes, there are companies, there are startups who are taking on this responsibility of trying to bring this to the fore. There are also companies that are trying to ensure that even the management and the maintenance of these properties are actually more transparent, because you would find that a lot of these properties and buildings, the life cycles are actually expanded throughout the after the transaction phase.
Okay.
So and obviously you want to be able to see a transparent ledger of information that has to do with exchanges and all of that, which then presents the true value of that property and land.
Okay, so I'm going to piggyback on the word you used now. You used the word transparent.
Yes.
Ledgers are usually hardcover books that we see at Alausa, you
Yes.
know, and there's, you have to go there, you have to queue up and all that to see all the information. And I think that
Yes.
probably adds to that process you said was
Yes.
a long process.
Yes, because you would find that these repositories are actually physical documents.
Okay.
And tracking back a long time ago. And for instance, like a first stack, like first stack 77, how would you find, are these documents that are attributed to these homes or these lands, are they actually documented enough for us to be able to trace them to the original owners or who they were dispensed to?
Yeah.
That information, like for instance, has to be digitized, has to be moved to a more a cloud bank, where people have access to go and check, look at mortgage values, look at true values of these properties as at now. That information then translates to give developers more insights on what they should build, how they should build, look at who is underserved in the market, and who they should address moving forward.
So can I just ask, hypothetically, how long do you think it's going to take for this technology to become the norm? Now, I know that technology is moving fast. We have AI, we have blockchain, we have so many different types of technology making things really snappy. How long do you think it's going to take for, let's say, let's just say Lagos, to move on to a more transparent ledger with smart contracts?
I think one of the core things that would happen, I wouldn't estimate a particular time, but what I would say is that there has to be some collaboration between these startups that I speak of and also the actual landowners and repositories across the government itself, right? Being able to connect together to be able to say, okay, fine, we have this data in physical form. You guys can have this data. You guys can help us translate this data into digital form and create that ability for people to be more dependent on these technologies to actually be able to do that. Because once we create that dependency on the user side, meaning like me and you and and other people as well who are looking to buy these lands, being able to go and check and look at the true values, that we're then able to really move forward in a better pace.
All right. Yes. Thank you so much, Bukunmi, for sharing this information with us. But everything I'm hearing is just basically saying that there won't be some politician that wants to redirect a property that was meant for healthcare into his own, summer home.
Yes.
Based on the transparency of these contracts. And I think that's a really great step in the right direction. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Let's hear what you think. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. And we'll be back after this.